feel like a star, but only strictly where I'm famous. I'm in this for the longest haul, like we'll see where it takes us. I'm throwing back these double shots like whiskey here is weightless. Cause this career I chose was even riskier than Vegas, yo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Colby Rebel Show. I am your host, Colby Rebel, and I'm excited to be back here in the studio, in the hot seat, giving you the episodes that really help enlighten and give you insight on everything that is on the other side of us and within us. So today, I have a very, very special guest. It's actually kind of a bonus because she's a very dear friend of mine. So it gives us a chance to also catch up. Very, very happy to have her. She is a Reiki master. She is a psychic, a medium, really a master teacher. She actually is an animal Reiki master as well, which I find to be fascinating, really, with that connection to animals. And she really, really helps her clients through transformation with all of the modalities. She also is the proud owner of Juless, which is in Los Angeles. And it's a great space and place for you to go in person to take classes. One of the things I love most about this guest is her ceremonies that she holds and really holding that space for so many. And we're going to dive into that. But before we do, please put your hands together for Jules Davis. Hi, Jules.
Hi, Colby.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to see you.
I know, likewise.
Yeah, so I as you kind of heard in the beginning, you have this really phenomenal gift of helping those transform, kind of releasing cords, releasing things that are tying them down, finding that higher self. I kind of want to find out a little bit of your story. What led you to being a healer, being a psychic and medium and Reiki master?
Well, I think that's probably multi-layered, Of course, the spirit world, I'm sure, had a hand in it, and, all of my guides and inspirers and things of that nature. But the catalyst for me in this lifetime, I'd always had these intuitive, psychic, mediumistic abilities since I was a little kid. I can't remember not having experiences, especially with the spirit world. And when I experienced a very traumatic car accident in 2010, I was looking for ways to heal myself. And I kept hearing that I needed to receive Reiki and that I was going to learn about it. So I followed that guidance. I had Reiki sessions before, probably 5 to 10 years previously. And I decided that I wanted to receive it as part of pain relief. I had very serious car accident injuries, spinal injuries from head to toe, basically, and PTSD. And so I was looking for ways to heal myself, and I tried all different methods. And the Reiki really supported me in healing when I had a major spinal surgery. I have 3 artificial discs in my cervical spine. But I also I got a message that the Reiki was going to help me heal my lumbar spine. And so I ended up not having to have a second surgery, for example, because I did a lot of energy work on releasing whatever the cause was. Some of it was emotional, that was holding the pain in my body. And so it really inspired me to want to help others navigate their healing journeys, because I'm a Scorpio. I'm comfortable going to dark places with people. I've had a lot of different experiences with trauma and tragedies in my life, not just that incident, but that was a very life-altering moment for me. And all of that basically led me to want to learn how to heal in different ways and ultimately help other people as well.
Oh, that's really interesting. And one of the things that you just mentioned that I really like is the idea healing emotionally. Like, emotional pain can kind of really show itself in a physical way. Can you elaborate on that a bit more? Like, why would that be, do you think? Or
Well, everything has energy, so emotions have an energy to them. And I mean, there's lots of ways that looking at it. Some of that is that, experiences that we have that could be negative thoughts, emotions that we experience get stuck in our auric field or somewhere in our energy system. And that ultimately can lead to an imbalance on any level, including a physical level. In my case, I had an injury. I mean, I had an MRI that showed that I had multiple disc injuries in my lumbar spine as well as my cervical spine with other issues. But it just something told me that if I was able to release the emotional pain, I could heal. And in my cervical spine, I had moderate to severe spinal cord compression. So they actually did have to physically go in there. But the lumbar issue with the ruptured discs, it just felt like it could be healed. So when I was working on healing it, a lot of frustration and emotions were stuck in there. And when I released those emotions, the severe chronic sciatica I'd had for like 3.5 years just went away. Wow. And I mean, it was a culmination of a lot of work over that 3.5 years to get to the root cause of what the issue was. Not always will it take that long. Obviously, I didn't have the guidance of a healer to help me on my journey at the time. Had I had somebody that could go in there with me, it probably would have happened faster, but it happened exactly how it needed to happen.
Yeah.
And so the emotional healing, even the PTSD that I had, which was quite significant and severe, I learned ways energetically to balance my emotions, and that helped to release this PTSD as well.
Got it. I love that. And what about someone's ability to heal themselves? What do you think the difference is between you doing Reiki on someone for someone versus them working on healing within?
Well, I think it's a collaboration. I think it's both of us. Sometimes we need assistance and we need support, and that can even be part of our lesson. That was certainly part of my lesson from my car accident, because I was very independent and I didn't want to ask for help. And one of my lessons was actually allowing people to help me. So that could be part of the lesson and in general. But there are tools that we can learn. You can even learn Reiki or any other kind of energy healing modality that can help to address your own stuff. Yeah. And then sometimes it's helpful to be a passenger and be supported. So the tools that I would give people of how to help yourself is really be willing to look at, what am I holding on to? You know, sometimes we don't realize that we're holding things. It is always a multi-layered thing. It could be something from this lifetime that we've experienced, or multiple things that we've experienced that have all come together to create this outcome. And then it could be from something with a past life. It could be something generational, the trauma that we're carrying with us that has having an effect on us today. So being willing and able to look at all of those things yourself, having the courage to do that. It does take courage to go.
Dark and deep.
I have stuff. Yeah. I have problems. I have some stuff going on.
Let me work on it.
Yeah. Because often it's easy to go like, I'm this way because of this. Right. And then we're giving all of that power to that traumatic event or that issue or those parents or whoever it was that we're blaming for what's happening now. For me, it's about acknowledging that things happened. Yeah. And then being willing to go, okay, but I don't need to carry that story or that pattern or that issue with me anymore. I'm responsible for how I feel. Yeah. And that's the first thing, is how can I change myself? What can I do to heal myself right now? This is what I have control over, how I feel about myself, how I treat myself, those kinds of things. As a healer, I work with them to try to help to uncover or reveal things that maybe they're not aware of are having an effect on us, you know?
Yeah, I love that. And so, you know, for you, it might be easier to discern, to tap into and to discern, oh, is this a past life, or is this some underlying PTSD, or to kind of help them. Whereas because they're going through it or because they've experienced it, it's almost hidden for them, right? It's a little hard to reveal. So I think you just peel back those layers. And
we're peeling it back.
Oh, look at this shiny thing here.
Yeah, and sometimes it's really uncomfortable, and you need the support of somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, we all need support from other people.
We do.
And then we also have our own responsibility to take care of ourselves. So it's finding the healthy balance when you work with a healer that you also have to take responsibility for your own life. You can't just put all the responsibility on the healer. And then the healer also has to learn that they need to have a healthy detachment from the client as well. And they can't control the outcome. So it's a whole collaborative experience. And so I use energy like different kinds of Reiki. I use crystals, I use sound, but mostly I use my intuition initially to see how can I help this person. What is the root cause of their issue? If they have cancer or something significant like a big illness, it's usually multi-layered. And so we're working layer by layer by layer to understand why that manifested and how we can address it and then heal it through addressing it energetically. And then hopefully they have a supportive medical team and all of that kind of stuff too.
So, you mentioned crystals, sound bowls, pretty shiny things that also carry energy with them. What kind of talk to me about the crystals? I know you're big on it. You go to all these places and really find the best crystals with the most kind of, I think, magnetic energy with them. Tell me a little bit, or just for our listeners, how and why do crystals work for people?
Well, they have their own vibrations through the color, through whatever it is, the minerals or metals or combination thereof that they're made of. Did I say the colors already? The color of the crystal, that's like color therapy, chromotherapy. Some of them just look and feel good for, maybe, you don't know all the properties, but you just know that when I pick up this crystal, it makes me feel good. I think there's a lot of different ways on describing how crystals work or how they heal for us. We actually have crystalline structures in our own body, and we also require a lot of the nutrients or minerals and some of the metals that are in the crystals. So I think there's a natural attraction between us humans and something that's made of the earth because our body has those same qualities. We're even able to produce crystals, although usually when that happens, that's not a healthy thing for us, like gallstones or kidney stones or something that's crystallized in our body. But to me, there's a vibration. And when you put the vibration and the energy of a crystal with somebody, there's a healing shift that takes place, and it can help to balance the energy field of that person. Crystals tend to be more neutral, meaning they're starting from a neutral point. Some of them have a memory of where they're from and the earth, which you can clear if you feel like you need to. But they have, for example, a quartz crystal, which we refer to as like the master healer. It's used in a lot of different things, like a timekeeping piece, because it has the ability to have a very consistent energy flow. And so you can actually program a clear quartz crystal with an intention, and it will continue to oscillate the frequency on a very consistent basis with that intention. Crystals have the lowest amount of entropy, especially something like a clear quartz, in all of nature, meaning the lowest amount of disorder if you're looking at it from like a scientific perspective.
So it's calmness.
Yeah. Well, it can create calmness. I mean, some conduct a lot of energy. Like if you have copper, high amounts of copper in a crystal, for example, like malachite has a lot of copper. It can be very stimulating to have that on your body. Different colors might have more of a stimulating effect. Other colors might have more of a soothing effect, even though they're in the same family of crystals. So it's helpful to learn a little bit about them, but essentially the vibration of the crystal has either a calming, a stimulating, some sort of healing effect for the person. So you can hold them in your hand, you can wear them on your body with jewelry, you can sleep with them under your pillows, you can put them on your nightstand,
put it in your bra,
purse, in your bra, wherever you want to put them. And just don't forget it if you put it in your bra, because that's happened to me plenty of times. They go flying. I had to stop doing that. I also had to stop putting them under my pillow because every time I changed the sheets, I would forget and they'd go flying.
Yes.
So, but I don't know anybody that's like, man, crystals suck. Like, who's going to look at a crystal and think that it's like awful,
Yeah.
Even people who might not believe that they have a healing property, crystals, you just look at them and to me, they make me feel good.
Right.
So
yeah.
There's lots of different ways that they can help to heal.
How can someone charge a crystal, and clear crystal?
So cleansing crystals, my favorite way, it depends on what it's made out of. There are some exceptions. So if it's soft, like a satin spar type of selenite or a kyanite or metals, you don't want to put those in water. But any kind of quartz, like a rose quartz, an amethyst, a clear quartz, anything that's strong, durable. I'm just looking at like some of my crystals. I have this crackle quartz here that's really pretty right next to me. And any of those kind can go under cold water.
Okay.
And just like for a few seconds, it clears the energy really quickly. If they're small, it's easy to do that. Sound, the vibration of sound is very healing. It clears energy. That's another great way to clear the energy of your crystals. You could always do sage, palo santo, incense, smudging. That can clear the crystals. If you put them out under the moonlight, just be careful not to leave them there for a long time in the sunlight in the morning, because sun can damage some crystals. It can either fade the color if it's in there for too long, or some of your really high-end clear quartz can get a little cloudy over time. So sun is a good charging method for something that's like more kind of durable in the sun. But if you don't know, I wouldn't risk the sun exposure. But the moon's always good. So those would be probably my favorite ways to charge up. You can also, if you have a cluster or like a log shape, you can put crystals on top of that, smaller crystals, and that will really quickly charge up the crystals. And for anybody who has Reiki or other energy modalities behind them, they can also charge their crystals with that.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Cleanse. Yeah.
And I know the listeners always love that. Like, what do I do? So thank you for that. And, one other thing is, I know that you do a lot of moon ceremonies, the full, the new, all the phases. So take me through, how someone can find or experience transformation through one of those ceremonies that you offer.
Well, the ceremonies that offer are healing, energy healing, and I usually do a large group event. Now I've been doing it just once a month for the full moon. But the full moon, the way that you can look at it is that the full moon is there for illuminating things. Maybe it needs to come to light, something that we need to heal. As well as it can be a good time for letting go of things. So we focus on releasing, healing, bringing things up to the surface, up to the light, because the moon and the sun are doing this dance and it's illuminating. The sun is illuminating the moon for us in that moment, right? They're opposite each other, so they're in the opposite sign. So it's bringing out whatever needs to come out from the darkness into the light. So that's why sometimes, depending on your own astrology, sometimes the full moon can affect us more. If it's hitting a certain part of our chart, it might be illuminating something which can be uncomfortable at times for us that needs to be healed. The new moon, on the other hand, typically is more gentle, but not always. Depends on other astrological aspects. And the new moon is a really good time for planting seeds of intention, for manifestation, which are both important balancing parts of healing. We want to clear energy out so that we can create space to manifest in. Because if there's no room, it's hard to attract or manifest things if we're too full of stuff, right?
Right.
So
okay.
We're letting go of things. There's a 2-week kind of phase between the full moon and we're getting in towards the new moon. And every 2 weeks that happens. So in that time, we can be making space, and then we create an opportunity to welcome those things in that we've made the space for.
Oh, I love that. That's really great. Take stock in yourself.
Yeah,
right.
It is. It's a really good time to look within. Yeah. And not always, just because we plant a seed and it doesn't manifest within the next 2 weeks or month or so, doesn't mean that those seeds aren't growing.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes it takes longer for that opportunity because of timing or other circumstances for it to manifest. So just keep allowing that intention to be there and trusting that it will come if it's for your highest and best good.
Yeah. Tell that to an Aries again.
I know.
We're not the most patient people.
Well, patience has been one of my big life lessons. So I understand.
Man.
I got a lot of fiery stuff in my charts.
I want to see, can you recollect? I mean, I know you've helped just thousands of clients really through their transformation, but is there any particular story or client journey that really sticks out for you that you can share with the listeners, just to kind of give them an example of starting at point A to where it can kind of go with someone?
Sure. I mean, even the story that I gave earlier about myself was quite a big deal, like not having to have a major surgery. And that was, my car accident was in 2010. It's been almost 14 years since I was at that wreck, and I haven't had to have that lumbar surgery since. I've also worked with animals that have received a lot of healing benefit. I'll start with my own, Frankie, my little Chihuahua dog.
Yes.
He was an angel from heaven, and he got diagnosed with lymphoma, and I actually found it on him because something intuitively said something's not right. Just, you know your pets and you're looking at them and something feels a little bit off. So I scanned him as I would to feel the energy in his auric field, and something kind of lit up around the underside of his chin. And when I touched him, I didn't really feel it for some reason. I think he was hiding it from me, but I took him to the vet because something, again, just didn't feel right. And when we went to the vet, he said, "Oh, you didn't feel this little tumor underneath his chin?" And I'm like, "No." So he aspirated it, and it ended up being lymphoma. Then to confirm, they did a tissue sample. It was a very high-grade, aggressive form of lymphoma. But intuitively, I just felt like, well, I asked him, because I also do animal communication, what do you want for your healing? And he didn't want what was prescribed to him, which was chemotherapy and some other stuff. Yeah. So I gave him Reiki. I mean, I'd given it to him since, before that. And I was giving him lots and lots of Reiki every single day. He was getting Reiki. I was giving him some nutritional supplements. I tried everything. I was like making raw food and all this crazy stuff. But the consistent thing was Reiki. And within about 8 months, he was, fully healed. He went into remission. He ended up passing away at 15 from old age, from a cancer, from kidney failure. And the vet at that hospital said, "I just want you to know it's not cancer. That's not what he's passed from." Oh. And so that was a pretty miraculous thing. And since then, I have worked with a lot of animals. Some of them, sometimes you can help them. Sometimes it's just helping them be comfortable for their transition. But I've had animals that had major, broken bones, and I've sent them Reiki, and they've healed in a way where their vet was like, they were not supposed to walk normally ever again because of these broken bones, and yet they're walking around totally fine. Yeah. I've had other animals where, for example, right now, one of my longtime friends, he's got a cat with cancer, and he had told me that the vet said maybe at the most you're going to get 2 months out of him. Well, it's now been 3, and he's still acting pretty healthy and lovely. And from my connection to him, it's probably going to be a while before he passes away. Yeah. Because, I've given him a lot of Reiki, but also tuned into him. He's definitely sick. I mean, there's something there, may or may not be able to put him into remission, but sustaining his life and giving him a better quality of life is what I feel is happening for him right now. So his caregiver is very over the moon excited, because he was really counting the seconds down of okay, it's been this long, he's about to go. Yeah. So those are some animal stories. Human stories, I've helped people support them through cancer, maybe changing the numbers of cancer within them. With humans, it's a little bit interesting because they have to really be wanting to do the work and to heal in order to see the biggest changes. So mental, emotional issues that we've worked on, that could be PTSD or healing from significant trauma. I've seen amazing results with people who are really ready and willing to do the work, completely shift. Like one of my clients had a major fear around driving, panic, couldn't drive, and when it rained, like paralyzed. And now they're able to drive on the highway again, and they're driving to work, and they're not worried about it. Like, a lot of that panic minimized just after one session. If she would continue, we would be able to get a little further
on a cross-country trip.
Just from one session to be able to go into the past life. We were clearing out some past life stuff with her, which was connected to this panic that she was having. And I mean, literally, she was so frozen she couldn't drive to her job. It was that severe. And so being able to drive to work and all that stuff was pretty incredible. So it can work on all levels. Like, I could probably sit here all day and tell you stories about clients and students of mine that have had miraculous healing experiences, but pretty significant. I have other lots of students that want to take Reiki also to work on their family members and or animals, and they all see the benefits of how that has helped immensely with healing them physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, etc.
I love it. Yeah, that's just wonderful. And it's, again, it just really demonstrates the power of Reiki, the power of our own ability to heal within.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. Well, let's talk about our big project, our big co-parenting project that we are working on. We are doing a mountain manifestation retreat, and I'm really, really excited about that. I know when I thought to kind of put something together, you were just the first person. I thought I'd love to have Jules with me on this, because I think being in nature for me, especially so much. I mean, I've been in nature for the last 20 years a lot, but in the last couple years, just so much more significantly. And I find it to be so healing, like so grounding, so healing, and just so important to put things into perspective, prioritizing, and moving away from such material kind of living. And so I thought, I wanted to do this retreat in the woods, in the mountains. So we're doing it in Big Bear Lake. And I'm super happy because, we have you kind of using all of these incredible modalities that you've taken the time to share with us and take us through. And we're going to be doing that with our attendees, with those kind of coming. I know you've done a lot of retreats, and really it's something you're passionate about. I know you also love nature and the woods, and so we have that in common. But maybe just share a little bit about the transformation. I think I know we're working on manifestation and also that rest and rejuvenation, but maybe just share with the listeners kind of your take on what they can really experience on this weekend retreat.
Sure. I mean, thank you, by the way, for inviting me to collaborate with you. I'm excited to work with you, especially up in Big Bear, since I know that's a familiar territory for you and a beautiful place for everybody who either hasn't been there or has been there knows that it is. But what I'm bringing to it is, so I do a lot of teaching. I don't think we talk too much about that, but I do a lot of teaching. And one of the things that I love to do are sound baths and talking about, manifestation and how to heal ourselves in order, again, to create that space so that we can manifest or attract. A lot of times when we're not attracting something into our lives, it's because we either have some subconscious belief limiting ourselves or a conscious belief that is limiting us from manifesting that. So if you say, here's an example for me, I'm never going to find a place with 3 dogs. That was a limiting belief I had many years ago when I had 3 dogs. I kept telling myself that I'm never going to find a place with 3 dogs. Well, if I keep saying that, that's what I'm attracting. I'm not going to find a place. But as soon as I realized that I consciously was saying this even, and I changed that language to, I'm going to find the perfect place, I instantly, within days, landed my apartment at the time in Manhattan Beach and found a place right away because I removed that limiting belief. So one of the things that we're going to work on at the retreat is how to remove limiting beliefs so that we can create space for manifestation. That'll come through a sound bath, through some other healing experiences that I'll be guiding people through, learning how to empower yourself and address your own things, giving people tools so that they can leave the retreat as well and be able to be like, oh, I actually know how to do something for my own healing process. We're also going to make little creative bundles with crystals and cleansing things that I think is going to be great. We're going on a hike. And I think in the hike, I want to, teach people how to connect more with their intuition with nature and feel the energy of the earth. That's something that I really enjoy doing as well, through meditations, through experiences, through exercises. I know we're doing some readings for people that will also be healing, giving people clarity, guidance, direction, understanding messages from the other side, whatever that looks like, is always beneficial. So I'm going to be integrating Reiki, crystal sound, and my psychic mediumship, all of my main tools together, which are all things that I also, teach to give people opportunities to learn how to heal themselves and also to receive.
Yes.
So it's not just like a workshop where we're going to like teach. There's time for relaxation and information and to receive, because often we're not very good passengers. We're constantly driving the car, and to give yourself even just 3-4 days up in the mountains where you're willing to receive is an act of self-love.
Yeah. And Big Bear is great because, it's 2 hours from LAX, and you could actually go to the Ontario airport and fly in there, and it's like 40 minutes or 45, super close. So, it's easy for people to get to. It's not difficult, which is great. We have a beautiful space that we'll be holding the retreat from, lakefront, which is fantastic. And the other thing I like too is that we're keeping it intimate, right? There's only a certain amount of people so that each person can be submersed in the connection and the energy and, really get our full attention in that time to really facilitate the release, the healing, the manifestation. So I'll show the banner here real quick. So this is the banner, everyone, so you can see it. It is June 6th through 9th. It is in Big Bear Lake. I will put the link in the show notes to give you an opportunity to look it up while there's some spaces left. And of course, this is our itinerary. So, we're coming in on day 1 and we're just going to hit the ground running. We have an opening ceremony. Jules is graciously taking us through a new moon ceremony, which I'm so excited about. Then for the next couple of days, we have a morning meditation. We do the hike. We have some grounded healing, a lot of spirit connection. I mean, there's a lot going on, as you can tell from here. And the thing I'm most looking forward to is not just, the opportunity to release, to heal, to manifest, but I also feel that we're going to bring in such like-minded friends that they're going to make lifetime connections with one another. So I know that that's just going to be so much fun.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are feeling either alone or sometimes they're alone in their spiritual journeys and they might not have the support of their partners or their friends or somebody around them. So being in community with like-minded people, I find just to be healing in general. We can learn from each other and connecting with each other. And it really is an incredible opportunity because I know we're both very busy in our work and doing all the things that we do. So to have access to us with such a small group is in itself a huge value because we both have really, wonderful insights and experiences and things to share. And we're kind of amazing, just in general. I'm just kidding.
Well, I think the whole thing too is that it's all inclusive, right? Yeah. So all the meals are there. The only thing is you just find your way there and then we got you.
Yeah, to not have to worry about anything for like 3.5 days or whatever,
nice.
I think is really extraordinary. And to be healing with people in a safe space, in a small, intimate space is also really great because sometimes it's harder to open up in a larger group kind of environment. Yeah. And, I think the house looks amazing right on the lake. You can tell them more about the details of the house. It's extraordinary. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And it's open. And like I said, the house is on the lake, which we love. So we're going to have some outdoor exercises, obviously the hike through the woods, but also the new moon ceremony that Jules is going to take us through. So, this is going to be amazing. And I know I'm just so excited to do it. Spirit's been kind of knocking to say, come on. That's like, okay. I'm super happy to have you, Jules. And I think such a gift that you are to so many people around you, to the universe, helping anything with energy, you're there helping. So I love it. And I really, really appreciate you. And I'm really looking forward to the retreat. But I also just really want to thank you for being on the podcast with me today and for sharing your insights and your experience with our listeners. I think just for them to be a little bit more informed of what healing modalities are available for them, and that it is attainable, and balance and joy and manifestation is there for them if they want to do the work. So, but thank you so much. Jules, please tell everyone where they can find you on social media, website, all that fun stuff.
Sure. So my handle's at Medium Jules on Instagram and TikTok. I also have one for my business that's at Auralux Reiki on Instagram. My website is healingwithjules.com. And I just wanted to add, if it's okay, that even if people are physically not able to go on a big hike, I don't want that to intimidate them. So we will have options if there's like a physical inability. Don't worry, you're still welcome to come, and we'll make sure that you have some sort of outdoor adventure that can be accommodated through any physical disabilities too.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not a super difficult hike for anyone anyway, so you don't need a personal trainer before coming to the retreat. It is really much more about help you understand how to ground, connecting to nature, and as Jules said, really connecting to your own inner intuition. So thanks for mentioning that, Jules, for sure.
Oh, I just want to say our goal is to help you manifest everything that you want to manifest. So hopefully not only do you get the rest, rejuvenation, and reward of being there with everybody, but it transforms or changes your life in a positive way so you can manifest everything that you want to manifest.
Oh, I believe it's going to be life-changing for anyone who's there. I really, really do. So thank you again, Jules. I know you got a jet. You've got a busy day. I have a busy day. We're lucky to be of service. And again, thank you so much. And I can't believe it, but I'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah. Thanks, Colby.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Colby Rebel Show. Be sure to follow Colby on social media at Psychic Rebel. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, please head on over to iTunes to leave a review to help Colby grow the tribe. Colby is an international psychic medium, teacher, best-selling author, and speaker. She is a master teacher of the Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development and is the owner of the Colby Rebel Spirit Center in Los Angeles. Visit colbyrebel.com.